Let's talk a little bit about one of my style icons, Bianca Jagger. In my opinion, Bianca Jagger is one of the defining personalities in fashion during the 1970s and really throughout her life, and I think a lot of people would agree with me. If you don't know anything about Bianca Jagger, she was actually born Blanca Perez Mora Macias in Nicaragua in 1945. She changed her name when she was 16 to Bianca. When she was young, she already started to establish an interest in human rights, and she actually ended up moving to Paris to study political science after being awarded a scholarship. She meets the front man of the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, and they fall kind of immediately in love at this after party for a Rolling Stones concert. They begin dating, and within less than a year, they're married. And while they ultimately get divorced in 1978, throughout the 70s, she really is known as kind of like force on the party scene, incredibly glamorous with amazing fashion, particularly always kind of at the forefront of fashion. She's one of those glamorous women who is always with Andy Warhol. There's an insane photo of her in Studio 54 on top of a white horse. Like, she was just the ultimate cool girl. But since the late 70s and the early 80s, she's actually established herself as really a force within the human rights and social rights space, and she now runs what's called the Bianca Jagger Human Rights Foundation. In terms of my own personal style, I love Bianca Jagger's dressing because she fluctuates so kind of easily between the ultra feminine and more masculine notes, which for me is really important because it entirely shifts this idea of elegance that we always seem to associate with femininity. Bianca Jagger is incredibly elegant, but she isn't always ultra feminine, which I think is important. The tuxedo that I had made for my rehearsal dinner actually took two of her looks as its point of departure. The first was obviously her amazing wedding look where she wore the YSL smoking jacket with a bias cut white skirt, 71 when she wore it. It was an incredibly cool and really like forward thinking outfit. Then there was of course the suit that she wore in 1974 to the Kenneth J. Lane party, which is an amazing three-piece suit that somehow she also makes look effortless. I think that is the thing about Bianca Jagger's style that is so remarkable. She really moves between these really like free-flowing, gorgeous dresses that were so typical of like the 1970s, especially the disco era. Think designers like Halston, but she also wears these incredibly structured, put together outfits. But on every occasion, she makes it look easy and effortless. So anyway, that is all to say, I talk a lot about personal style, and I think personal style ultimately comes down to understanding who you are as a person and letting that come through your dressing. But something that can always be helpful is identifying people whose style you really love and adore, and then understanding why it is. And for me, Bianca Jagger is one of my style icons because of how effortlessly she kind of transitions between the ultra feminine and what is often considered more masculine. Okay, bye.